The Greedy Brother. In a bustling town nestled between rolling hills and flowing rivers, there lived a merchant known for his vast wealth. He was a man of great renown, respected by his peers, and feared by those who owed him money. The merchant had two sons, each very different from the other. The elder son, named Arvid, was sharp-witted, intelligent, and capable beyond his years. The younger son, Eric, however, was the opposite, simple, earnest, and good-hearted, though not blessed with the same cunning as his older brother. The merchant, though he had lived a long and prosperous life, began to grow old, and he feared that his time on earth was drawing to a close. He worried most about his younger son, Eric. The world was often cruel, and Arvid, with his clever mind, would surely navigate life's challenges with ease. But Eric, the simpleton, might fall prey to deceit and trickery. The merchant feared that, upon his death, Eric might be taken advantage of, especially when it came to the division of his wealth. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, the merchant called his sons to his chambers. His voice, though calm, carried the weight of a man who knew his time was short. "My sons," he said, "I am nearing the end of my days, and when I am gone, I want you both to have an equal share of my wealth. But I fear that Eric, in his innocence, might not be able to handle the trials that lie ahead. I have, therefore, taken precautions to ensure fairness." The elder son, Arvid, looked on attentively, his sharp eyes gleaming with an understanding that was, perhaps, a little too eager. Eric, on the other hand, nodded simply, unaware of what was about to transpire. "I have divided all my wealth into 2 sacks," the merchant continued. "One sack contains my fortune, while the other contains only a semblance of wealth. I will leave it to you both to choose 1 sack each. Once I am gone, you may each take your sack and use what is inside to make your living." With that, the merchant handed over the 2 heavy sacks to his sons and retired for the night, his thoughts heavy with the knowledge that his life would soon come to an end. The following morning, after the merchant had passed away in his sleep, Arvid wasted no time in executing his plan. He had already anticipated the situation. While the sun was still low in the sky, casting long shadows across the ground, Arvid secretly opened the 2 sacks. Inside, he found what he expected. 1 sack contained silver coins on top, but beneath them were clay balls. The other sack, however, had clay balls at the top and silver coins buried at the bottom. Arvid's mind worked quickly. He knew that the merchant's wealth was hidden beneath the surface, and he had no intention of letting his younger brother claim it. So, he carefully scooped all the silver coins from the first sack and transferred them into the second sack. Then, he pushed all the clay balls from the second sack into the first one. The exchange was done with such precision that only someone with a keen eye, like Arvid himself, would know the difference. When morning arrived and the family gathered to deal with the inheritance, Arvid called his brother over with a sly smile. "Eric, you may take the sack on the left," he said, pointing to the sack filled with clay balls. "It seems lighter and less valuable, but it is your share." Eric, with his simple nature, did not question his brother. He trusted Arvid completely. "Thank you, brother," he said, picking up the sack and lugging it with a grunt. "I will make the best of it, I promise." Arvid, with a glint of triumph in his eyes, seized the other sack, the one he had filled with silver coins, and made his way to the door, eager to begin his new life. But as he turned to leave, he heard Eric's voice behind him. "Wait, Arvid!" Eric called, his voice filled with uncertainty. "There are strange things inside my sack. I thought it was full of clay balls, but when I started breaking them open, there was something inside. Look!" Arvid paused and turned around, feigning disinterest. "What nonsense are you speaking, Eric? You must be imagining things. It's just clay balls. Do not trouble yourself." But Eric, ever persistent, ignored his brother's warning. He sat down on a nearby stone bench and began breaking open the clay balls one by one. To his astonishment, inside each ball was a gold coin, shining bright and gleaming with an undeniable luster. One after another, Eric cracked open the balls, revealing more and more gold. His eyes widened with disbelief. "Arvid!" he cried again, this time with a mix of confusion and joy. "Why are there gold coins inside these clay balls?" At this, Arvid's face drained of color. The smile that had once played on his lips disappeared as he turned to face his brother. He had been caught in his own deception. "What is this trickery?" Eric asked, holding up the last of the clay balls with a coin spilling from it. "I thought you said my sack was worth nothing." Arvid stood there, frozen for a moment. The plan had backfired. His cleverness had not led him to wealth, but had instead left him exposed. Eric, the simpleton, had unknowingly outsmarted him. Eric, still unsure of his brother's intentions, looked at him with confusion. "Why did you give me the sack of clay balls, Arvid? Were you trying to deceive me?" The elder son, now embarrassed, swallowed hard. He was not used to being caught in such a way. His mind raced, trying to come up with an explanation, but none seemed fitting. "Eric, he stammered, his pride wounded. I thought that I could take the better sack for myself." Eric looked at his brother, his face reflecting disappointment, but not anger. He had always trusted Arvid, but this act of deception stung deeply. "But why, Arvid?" he asked quietly. "Why would you do that to me? I would have been happy with whatever was given to me. I do not care for silver or gold." "But this is wrong." Arvid's eyes filled with guilt. "I did it because I thought you would not understand the value of the wealth. I thought you would be taken advantage of. So I made sure you had the sack with nothing but clay balls. But it seems I was wrong." Eric, ever the innocent soul, could not stay angry for long. He placed the sack of gold coins on the ground and approached his older brother. "Arvid, I do not need all of this. But you should know that wealth and cleverness are not the same. True value lies in the heart, not in gold or silver." Arvid stood there, humbled, realizing the truth of his brother's words. He had been so consumed by his own desire for wealth and success that he had forgotten the simplest truths of life: kindness, honesty, and trust. Over time, Eric's good nature and simple wisdom began to shine. He used his newfound wealth to help others, building a small business that offered honest work to the people of the town. His sincerity and integrity made him beloved by all. Arvid, on the other hand, learned a hard lesson about the consequences of greed. He worked tirelessly, but never quite found the peace he sought. His mind was always restless, and his heart heavy with the guilt of his deceit. The two brothers, despite their differences, came to respect each other in the end. Arvid learned that cleverness without integrity could never lead to true happiness, and Eric discovered that even the simplest soul can find wealth, not just in gold, but in the goodness of one's heart.